Did you know the world burns through more than 100 million barrels of oil every single day? And that the total amount of energy humanity consumes in just one day could power a city the size of New York for 30 years straight. One day equals 3 decades of power. But imagine if all of that just disappeared. Imagine a world with no need for oil, no gas, no coal. What if there was a clean, unlimited, totally free source of energy that could change the entire planet forever? Could a small device actually generate power without any fuel at all? Is there really a hidden technology powerful enough to crash global economies and bring down the empires of oil and coal? And why are scientists and giant industries trying so hard to bury it? That's what we're going to uncover in today's episode. So if you like this kind of content, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a story. Meet Malcolm Bendle, the inventor who might rewrite everything we think we know about energy. For decades, the idea of free energy has been called a myth, an impossible dream, or just plain science fiction. But Bendle says he's cracked the code. He claims to have built a revolutionary machine, a self-running energy generator that could flip the entire world upside down. And Bendle isn't just some random guy tinkering in his garage. He's an engineer, a researcher, someone who spent his life searching for a way out of the global energy crisis. He always believed there had to be another path forward, something cleaner, something that wouldn't destroy the planet. Free energy has always been branded as fantasy or pseudoscience. But Bendle, he sees it differently. He believes nature itself is hiding the secret to infinite energy. His ideas are inspired by sacred geometry, natural patterns, and ancient technologies long forgotten. And his system doesn't look like anything else in the energy world. Instead of relying on combustion or fossil fuels, it runs on hydrogen implosion and plasma resonance. We're talking about techniques that don't just challenge the current system, they have the power to replace it entirely. If he's right, fossil fuels instantly lose all value. Energy becomes free, clean, limitless, with zero pollution, zero emissions, zero waste. But, of course, scientists are skeptical, and even worse, some of the biggest players in the global economy are downright hostile to ideas like this. So the big question is this: is Bendle's invention the real future of energy, or just another illusion? At the heart of his machine lies a process that breaks all the rules. Unlike any traditional generator that runs by burning fuel, Bendle's device creates a continuous reaction through hydrogen implosion and plasma resonance. Let's simplify that. Hydrogen implosion compresses hydrogen atoms to extreme levels until they begin to fuse. That fusion releases enormous energy in the form of heat and light. And here's the shocking part: it doesn't need an external fuel supply. Once it starts, it just keeps going. The real magic is in the design. Bendle built his generator with complex geometric patterns and vortex-like movements inspired by nature itself. Water currents, hurricanes, even the invisible flows of energy in the universe. These patterns amplify the output and create a self-sustaining cycle. Bendle describes it as a union of natural forces, a system that mirrors the perfection of the cosmos. And the result? Free power. No fuel, no smoke, no waste. Just a machine that copies the greatest forces God ever created. If it works, this could mark the beginning of a brand new era of sustainable energy. Think about the impact. No more oil, no more gas, no more coal. The massive industries that dominate our world would collapse. Pollution disappears, climate change slows, cities become cleaner, energy crises vanish overnight. On a global scale, the shift would be earth-shattering. Oil fields and coal mines would become useless relics of the past. Nations whose entire economies depend on fossil fuel exports would crumble. On the other hand, poor countries with no resources could suddenly stand on equal footing, fully energy independent.
the world would transform not just into a cleaner place, but into a fairer one. Cheap energy would lift millions of people out of poverty. Remote villages and regions with no access to electricity could finally light up, bringing education, healthcare, industry, and infrastructure to places that were left behind. Economically, the savings would be unimaginable. Families, businesses, entire governments could redirect trillions of dollars, money that used to vanish into energy bills, towards education, healthcare, and building stronger societies. But let's be real. Every revolutionary idea meets resistance. The very concept of generating power without fuel challenges the laws of physics as we know them. That's why the scientific community calls it a fantasy. And beyond the science, there's the politics. The oil and gas lobby is worth trillions. A device like this would destroy their profits. It would wipe out the foundation entire nations depend on. Do you really think they'd just stand by and let it happen? Some people even believe these technologies are being suppressed, buried, discredited, or ridiculed so the powerful can stay in control. And that leads us to the question, if this invention is real, why hasn't it been tested and confirmed by independent labs? Why hasn't it been shown to the world? Supporters of Bendle argued this is normal. Every breakthrough in history was mocked before it was accepted. Electricity itself was once dismissed as a joke before it became the lifeblood of civilization. The mystery remains. Why hasn't this technology spread? Is it because people can't accept something that breaks the rules of physics? Or is it because unseen forces are making sure it never sees the light of day? If Bendle's machine is ever tested and validated, it could be the single greatest energy shift in human history. One device powerful enough to run factories, transportation, hospitals, even entire cities. But the road won't be easy. Scientists are skeptical, corporations are hostile. But history shows us what seems impossible today often becomes reality tomorrow. Malcolm Bendle's invention is more than a machine. It's a dream of a new world, a world of unlimited, clean, free energy, a future that doesn't depend on oil or coal. Could this really be the discovery humanity has been leaving for? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you can follow the journey. All right, let me be straight with you. After digging into this whole story about Malcolm Bendle's invention, honestly, I think it's fascinating, but at the same time, it's surrounded by a ton of questions and doubts. On one hand, the idea that a small machine could generate unlimited energy without fuel or pollution, that's absolutely mind-blowing. If this thing really works, it would be the greatest breakthrough in human history. Imagine it, free energy for anyone, anywhere on the planet. No more oil, no more gas, no more giant corporations controlling our lives and the price of electricity or fuel. The world would be cleaner, fairer, and millions of people would finally escape poverty. That's the dream, right? But here's the other side of it, and we got to stay real. Science isn't built on dreams. It's built on evidence, experiments, and hard proof. And so far, there's not a single independent test or credible scientific institution that's come out and said, yes, this device works, and it really produces unlimited energy. And that makes me hesitate, because if this invention's legit, why hasn't it been revealed to the world in an official way? Why haven't we seen it published in respected journals? Why hasn't some major lab come forward and confirmed it? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not ruling out the possibility that powerful interests are trying to shut something like this down. History is full of examples of ideas and inventions that got buried or delayed just because giant industries stood to lose billions. But at the same time, not everything can just be explained by conspiracies. Sometimes the truth is that the idea just isn't ready, or it simply doesn't work the way people hope it does. My honest take is, I think the dream of free energy is worth chasing, even if 90% of these attempts fail, because searching for clean and sustainable alternatives is the only path forward. If Bendle or anyone else can really prove that a machine like this works, it would change the world forever. And if it doesn't, well, then it's another lesson that science takes patience, testing, and transparency. What I do know for sure is that humanity isn't going to stop looking. Whether it's nuclear fusion, hydrogen power, or even wild ideas like Bendle's generator, there will always be people out there pushing the limits, asking the big questions, and refusing to accept that things have to stay the way they are. And that alone gives me hope. Hope that the future, even if it's not 100% free, will be cleaner, fairer, and better than today. To me, this dream shouldn't die. Even if Bendle turns out to be wrong, the idea itself could inspire thousands of other inventors and researchers to keep pushing. And at the end of the day, what sets us apart as humans is that we never stop asking, what if? And that one little question has the power to change the world.